Good Sunday morning. Israel is at war after Hamas launched a surprise multi-front attack from Gaza, which Israel says has killed more than 300 and wounded at least 1,500. The timing adding to the devastation. It is the largest attack on the state of Israel since the 1973 Arab-Israeli War, almost exactly 50 years ago. The bombardment began with thousands of rockets launched into Israel. Hamas gunmen used explosives to breach the border fence, crossing with motorcycles, pickup trucks, paragliders, and boats. Israel's military confirms both civilians and soldiers have been abducted, taken as hostages into Gaza. More than 300 people have been killed in Gaza in retaliatory strikes and nearly 2,000 wounded. This morning, the war threatens to expand as Israel exchanged strikes with Hezbollah in the north. The attack comes at a time of deep divisions and political instability in Israel. And as the U.S., Israel, and Saudi Arabia have been negotiating what would be an historic diplomatic agreement opposed by Iran, everyone was caught off guard in a stunning intelligence failure from Israel to Washington, with one senior U.S. military official saying, "We were not tracking this." On Saturday, a flurry of urgent calls, President Biden speaking with Prime Minister Netanyahu.
The United States stands with Israel. We will not ever fail to have their back. We'll make sure that they have the help their citizens need and they can continue to defend themselves.
My colleague Raf Sanchez is on the ground in Sderot, Israel. And Raf, we see the disturbing images behind you. What is the very latest there?
Yeah, Kristen, I am standing in front of all that remains of an Israeli police station that was overrun by Hamas gunmen yesterday. This was the scene of a 20-hour, very intense gun battle as Israeli forces tried to regain control. And if my colleague Dave Copeland just swings the camera around here, you can see, Kristen, all over this scene, we are seeing cars like this in ruins. There is a boot from what may be a member of the Israeli security forces. And back there in the rubble, Kristen, all morning, we have been watching as they have been pulling bodies out of the debris. Under our feet are the shell casings, a sign of how intense the fighting was. And overhead, we are hearing Israeli fighter jets carrying out a punishing round of airstrikes inside of Gaza. But more than 24 hours on from this surprise attack, Israeli forces are still not fully in control on the grounds. There are reports of continued fighting with pockets of Palestinian militants. And as we drive the highways of southern Israel, we are seeing all evidence pointing to a large-scale Israeli ground incursion in the works. We are seeing tanks and artillery being moved into position. Now, Kristen, that would be a complex military operation, but on top of that, it is a hostage rescue operation, unlike anything perhaps the world has ever seen. The Israeli military has now confirmed that there are both Israeli soldiers and civilians being held captive by Hamas, by Palestinian Islamic Jihad, inside of Gaza. Some of the videos we have seen on social media are absolutely harrowing. A young woman who is attending a dance party in the fields near Gaza being carried away on the back of a motorcycle. Videos then showing her inside Gaza, but this morning her fate is unknown, along with the fates of so many other of these Israeli captives, these Israeli hostages. And you can guarantee, Kristen, that that is weighing very heavily on the minds of Israeli decision makers from Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on down, as they try to figure out what is the best course of action to get these people back safe and to exact what Prime Minister Netanyahu says will be massive retaliation for this surprise attack. Kristen.
Those images just devastating. Raf Sanchez, thank you.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.